Camille is gone, ripped away from her family. The pain her family is enduring is unimaginable. A 3-year-old has been snuffed out from her family.
Breaking news as we come on the air. The mayor of Birmingham, Alabama, giving an emotional message at a press conference earlier tonight. Now, this comes after police say they found remains believed to be that of missing 3-year-old Camille McKinney. The police chief says human remains were found inside of a dumpster at a landfill. Authorities say they're planning to issue warrants for kidnapping and capital murder. Now, we previously reported to you that 2 people were arrested in this case, but face charges unrelated to McKinney's actual disappearance. Agencies across several states were searching for her, even here in Georgia. We will continue to follow this developing story on air and online at Wgxa.tv. Lawyers representing convicted murderer and former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger have filed an intent to appeal. Geiger's lead attorney says the intent to appeal doesn't necessarily indicate an appeal will happen, but was basically a procedural matter. Geiger was convicted last month and sentenced to 10 years for fatally shooting her neighbor, Botham Jean, when she entered his apartment and thought he was a burglar. Developing now, Bibb County deputies are investigating a shooting on Jeffersonville Road. The sheriff's office says a woman was walking near Roseview Drive when someone started shooting and hit her in the leg. That shooter took off before deputies were able to get to the scene. The woman was taken to the medical center Navicent Health, where she's said to be in stable condition tonight. New tonight, a Lawrence County teenager is recovering after being hit by a vehicle. That teen was initially in critical condition. Our Jayla Whitfield's been following this story all evening. Jayla, what do we know tonight?
Aaron, that 13-year-old boy was headed to West Lawrence Middle School when he was waiting. Now, the bus wasn't there yet, but he just a vehicle. Now, community shocked. Here's what they had to say.
Because our children are so important.
Community members respond after a woman thought she hit a deer this morning near Markwood Road, but it was a teenager. The 13-year-old boy was waiting on the school bus just before 7 a.m.
Just would be worried that they would do something like what he did, like run across the other side of the road and not see the vehicle coming.
The 13-year-old boy was standing on the corner of the road waiting on the bus when he decided to cross the street before the bus arrived and was hit. According to Georgia State Patrol, the woman driving said it was dark and she was unable to clearly see what stepped out in front of her. Shortly after the accident, the woman returned to the scene and realized she had hit a pedestrian. She knocked on a nearby house and called 911.
It's just terrible, and children need to be protected, and everyone needs to be more careful around school buses.
Georgia State Patrol said the 13-year-old boy was in critical condition at Navicent Medical Center. Now, this afternoon, our team actually received some good news. The Lawrence County Superintendent, Dr. Dan, this statement. It says, "We are very injuries are not life-threatening. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the victim as well as the driver of the vehicle." Now, this accident is under investigation. For now.
All right, Jayla, thanks. Macon Bibb commissioners one step closer to asking Georgia lawmakers to make state routes in Macon and Bibb County safer for pedestrians. It's a topic that's been talked about a lot in the past week, including in a committee meeting today. This year, Macon Bibb County has already seen a higher pedestrian fatality count than last year that ended with 13. Macon Bibb ranks the highest in Georgia in terms of pedestrian crashes, according to the Pedestrian Safety Review Board.
For the legislature to look at this for a study for Macon Bibb County specifically for our state roads, which include Gray Highway, Emory Highway, Pine Ono, those major thoroughfares in Macon Bibb County that we see pedestrian accidents on.
Now, this resolution still has to go before the full commission at the next commission meeting.
Good evening, everyone. Jeff Cox with you in the WGXA News Skywatch Weather Center, 11:05 on this Tuesday night. A gorgeous night across the mid-state, but turning chilly quickly. Already 52 in Dublin, thanks to a clear sky and finally a calm wind. Boy, we had that cold front sneak through today, and the wind really kicked up behind it. Look at the top wind gusts for Middle Georgia today. What's ironic about this is this was just a cold front coming through, and some of you saw stronger winds than what we did on Saturday with Tropical Storm Nestor. So that's pretty funny, right? Milledgeville, nearly 30 miles per hour this afternoon. Cochran and Sandersville at 28, the same at Thomaston and Warner Robins. Macon, wind gust of 26. Byron, 24. Eastman, 22. Well, that wind is subsiding tonight, and when you combine that with a clear sky, yeah, those temperatures are dropping rapidly. So we look ahead to Wednesday with our school day forecast, and there you have it. Fall is back, upper 40s tomorrow morning. That's after waking up to the 70s this morning. We should be in the mid-60s by lunchtime tomorrow and into the upper 60s for the ride home. It will be a day filled with sunshine. Later in this half hour, tumbling temperatures tonight. How many cold nights do we have? We'll count them up for you. More rain is coming. I'll break it down day by day. Plus, we've had another earthquake in Middle Georgia. Do we think it's a sign of things to come? That analysis just minutes from now.
The cleanup is underway in parts of Dallas tonight after a powerful weekend tornado knocked out power and caused severe damage. As J.D. Miles reports, there are streets that are still impassable until large trees can be removed.
We got under there's a pretty strong pine table there, so we got under that and just kind of held each other and held on for dear life. And
Joe Eccles showed us where he hid with his son minutes after getting word of a tornado warning. His home is behind the Home Depot, hit by the tornado, and fortunately his 67-year-old house, which was its next target, had a basement.
And as it got more and more violent, I was really concerned that this was going to start collapsing.
The room he was in upstairs did collapse, and his home was destroyed. Nancy Schmitz was lucky her nearby home escaped major damage, but she's still dealing with a lot of cleanup.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if insurance is going to cover it, so I have to, obviously I have to take care of it myself.
It's the second severe storm to rock this neighborhood this year, and Schmitz is still traumatized by what she experienced.
Because it was so loud, and I'm reliving it right now. It was horrible. Yeah, it's going through it, twice in 4 months.
2 guys that took their own lives. I thought about it myself sometimes, especially under the influence of alcohol.
The suicide rate among members of law enforcement is on the rise across the country. In a story you'll only see here, how 2 survivors are now helping others get through dark times.